It's not every day that someone walks into your front room and says, would you like to go to Norway in the middle of the winter, camping on a motorbike? The wind was coming in from the left. It was catching us. It was like someone punching us in the stomach. I couldn't even hear the motorbike with the sound of the wind. It was like howling. At the start of it, my visor was slightly over, and the wind caught it, lifted up and pulled back my head. Oh God, Gene, I had to pull down the visor. I was fighting for my own space on the road. I spoke to a lot of people. They said I was mad. And I'm up here 12 weeks later, and they're still telling me I'm mad. But I completed the task. Our very first place was beside a sewage plant. It was my first night staying in a tent, and it was minus 25 degrees. And it was horrific.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Many Firsts, the podcast where we explore the power of first-time experiences and share transformative and inspirational moments in our lives. I'm your host, Regula Fischer, and I'm super happy to be here today, live in Svalbard with Jim Sheehan. Welcome,
Hi.
Jim.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, Jim, you've got many firsts to celebrate, just looking back at the last 12 hours, I guess. So
I think it even goes back to the last 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Yes.
Where shall we start? You tell
I think
us.
we start with, I was introduced to a guy called Declan McAvoy. You know Declan from the past.
I know Declan, yeah.
And Declan, he was introduced to me, and over the conversation, he says, I'm going to Norway on a motorbike and to a place called Nordkapp. Would you like to join him? And it was an invite. It's not every day that someone walks into your front room and says, would you like to go to Norway in the middle of the winter, camping on a motorbike? And I went, let me think about that. I spoke to my wife. She said, like, whatever. And I went, okay, let's do this.
So that was the first time in winter on a motorbike, camping outside, going to Nordkapp.
Yes.
And so what other firsts did you experience on that journey? I guess there were obviously many.
Well, I'd never planned a project like that before. So I had to look at logistics. I had to look at getting the bike ready, finding clothes that would fit me. I'm a big guy. Finding camping gear that would suit me. Like, I'm a big person again. I'm going to repeat that a number of times, but I'm not your average person in any shape or form.
We're all kind of,
yes.
Hopefully not average, but in many ways.
In many ways. So, so that was the first. And I was fixated on it because I rang a lot of companies who said, I can't help you, I don't have that. And bit by bit, I overcome those obstacles. And we were prepared. And Declan was so enthusiastic because sometimes you meet obstacles, and Declan's energy helped me overcome that. I spoke to a lot of people. They said I was mad. And I'm up here 12 weeks later, and they're still telling me I'm mad, but I completed the task.
And I see the smile and the energy, I guess. What did you experience once you started the journey?
Well, the logistics, as I said, was the very first part. And once I got over that, I felt I had the necessary supports. We sent the bikes a week before we traveled ourselves over to Lithuania, and where we met a colleague of Declan's who kindly took us in and brought us as far as Tallinn, where we got the bikes going and drove onto the boat, got the boat over to Helsinki, and then our individual things started to happen. I contacted a guy called Carrie who manufactured tires with studs. Tires with studs. That's the first. And he sold them to me, and he organized it with a friend of his, change them out in Helsinki. That was with Mikko and a son too. I would pronounce that wrong, but fabulous guys. And my bike, when it was brought over, it got broken. The stand was broken. And they rang a friend of theirs called Yanni. So I drove down to Yanni, and Yanni welded my stand back on. And then my helmet that was meant to arrive from America didn't come.
Oh.
So I got through to a guy called Henry from the Skidoo shop in Helsinki. I went over to him and he fitted me out with a Skidoo helmet. And lucky enough, it was the right size. And he thought I was mad. And he took a picture. And because there was a bike show going on in Helsinki. And so when everything was put together, that was the first time we put myself, the gear, the bike, everything together. And then I was asked to travel on an icy road, which wasn't icy. Yes, it was standard asphalt. So we drove down the road. I got on quite well. I was quite proud of myself. Took 2 hours to where I was going. And I met up with Declan. He had to go through the same process with his contacts. And we met up in a base camp. We call it base camp. Yeah. And that was it.
And then you started riding up and up and up and up until you reached Nordkapp.
Yes.
Were there maybe one or two very special firsts between, I mean, let's say Helsinki and the Nordkapp?
Oh, every day was a first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd never been away with Declan before.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how Declan woke up in the morning or how he went to bed at night. I didn't know his insecurities. And he's a bit of DCO. Well, it's OCD, but I mix up the letters just to fuck with his head.
Yeah, there's a few things I learned about Irish humor, right?
Yes,
You're
from
very
Ireland,
funny. So
it's really funny.
Yeah, you're very fond of each other.
Yes,
and you're
actually very fun.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, but we got on, and he was quite inspirational. And he says, "This is what we're doing, and you're going to do that today, and that's fine." Mm-hmm. So I had a target. We drove, and then we got to drove, and then there was a whole energy that I didn't expect. I didn't expect to lose so much energy looking for a place to camp. And when we got there, then it was our very first place was beside a sewage plant.
Was it what?
Beside a sewage plant.
What
it's where when your poo-poo is
so at least there was a toilet in the wilderness.
I know. And I said, Declan, this is not going to work, So he said, I'll be back in a minute. And he drove up the road. He met this guy called Nico.
Okay.
And Nico says, "You're mad. You need mental health." But he said, "There's a place over there you can stay." So he found it in this clearing in the wood. Mm-hmm. We went in there, and that was our first night. We stayed in a tent. It was my first night staying in a tent, mm-hmm. and it was minus 25 degrees, and it was horrific.
I mean, you're laughing now, but was that also the state you were in that first
wrecked. Night? After the driving, you only had a couple of hours during the night or during the daylight hours, and it was only 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It was getting dark, and we drove till 7, and then we had to go and get food in the supermarket, and then we had to look for somewhere to stay. And then he found Nico, and by the time we were ready, it was 9:30 before we were ready to camp. And then I'd never opened a tent before, so we took out the tent and tried to figure out how that went. And after a long debate, it turned out where Nico put us, there was a kind of a little building that I could lay down and put in my tent in my sleeping bag. And so we did that and had my sleeping bag down, and it was my first time sleeping in a sleeping bag. In a sleeping
outside,
bag.
In the wilderness.
In a foreign country with someone I didn't know. And we had a few beers in us, and Nico was there. He was a little bit tipsy. And anything could have happened. And it turns out it was beside a military base as well.
Yeah. As you found out in the morning.
In the morning, that's just correct.
Yeah. So, and you didn't think things like, oh, I wish we could just go to a hotel, or why do I need to stay out?
No. In fairness to Declan, it said we will be camping until we got to the toughest. Now, the toughest actually, I think, was that particular night. I'm wrong in saying it was minus 25. That night it was minus 16. It was the following night. It was the minus 25, and it was actually different. There's a big difference between minus 16 now and minus 25.
Yeah.
That's when I put up the tent in the minus 25. When you breathe, the room became full of condensation.
Yeah.
And it froze on the inside. It's crystallized. It looks spectacular.
Wow.
And as you lie back and you're going, wow. And I hope to God I don't hit it and it falls down and punctures me and I'll be dead like glass. But so, and another thing I learned for the first, I was packing the tent for the first time and it had increased in size. I couldn't get it back into its package.
In the cold.
Yes, because the condensation had made the packaging bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It was.
Many things. So it's a real education, I guess. Very educational.
Every minute.
Yeah.
From we would start one day in a certain weather condition, and then 8 hours later, and after going through multiple different conditions. And the one consistent thing was through it all was the people we met. We would stop for petrol. They would come up out of the blue and say, hey, and you get rid of what? I'm going, sorry, I only speak the English. And they would say, where are you going? And we're saying, we're on a trip to Nordkapp and we're camping. Are you mad? It was the consistent theme all the way through.
And did that influence you in any way, or you were just sure you would stick to it?
I was halfway through and I was getting a little bit proud of myself that we were doing this. And then wondering if people kept saying we're mad, like, will we get there? There was a question mark. Will we get there? Yeah. And
how did it feel to get there?
I think for me, I approached it like a project. Okay, so there was a start and a finish. Yes, it was excellent to get there, but there was more the emotional journey why I was on it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to a number of people before I went on it, my wife and my family, but a couple of friends of mine, and they are fighting their own battles with various things, illnesses, and it became very clear that whenever I was challenged in that journey, whether it was driving through ruts or getting stuck in the snow or whatever, I related that back to, I wonder how they're feeling in the process of medication. And that came to a head as we were heading for Olderfjord into Honningsvåg, where we had to drive about 70 kilometers, and my hairs, my arms, when I think about it, it brings up an awful lot of emotion with me, because Declan said this is going to be a hard part of the journey because we're going to be exposed to winds, and we certainly were. And now I'm a big guy on an old bike, which was quite heavy. Declan is a lighter person on a lighter bike, and wisdom actually brought him that way. But and we were going over a particular patch. There was a number of them. There was 4. The same thing, the recurrent thing. The wind was coming in from the left. It was catching us. It was like someone punching us in the stomach. And it was just it was relentless. It wasn't just a punch. It was relentless coming at us. And I was over on the bike and I was holding. I remember I couldn't even hear the motorbike with the sound of the wind. It was like howling. At the start of it, my visor was slightly over and the wind caught it, lifted up and pulled back my head. Oh, God, Gene, I had to pull down the visor. I couldn't pull it down too much because it would fog up. So I had to put it back down to a little gap where I could breathe and yet the wind protect me. The noise was exceptional. And we were going through this patch. We were kind of lifting and turning at the same time. And this wind was coming in from the left. And I was staying on the white line. It was the only reference we had because there was snow all around us. And I could see Declan being pushed, the wind being pushing him, and he was fighting. And he was there, and I was shouting at him, Declan, straighten up your bike. I was straightening up your bike. I said, Jim, straighten up your bike. We were fighting this wind. And as I was going through that process, in the back of my mind, I must be a woman. I was dual thinking. I was thinking to myself, my friends who were going through real unknowns, and it was an unknown we were going through. Now, I didn't know was Declan going to end up on the barrier, thrown over a 200-meter fjord into the sea. I was fighting for my own space on the road, and he was fighting for his. And I looked at it one time, and he'd gone down about 45 degrees or more, and the wheels of the bike had gone in under the barrier. Mm-hmm. You know, there was the timber, the barrier, they were gone under it. And I said, Jesus, if he sits up at all, he's gone over. He'll just flip, you know. But he fought and fought and fought. And eventually he managed, he put trust in his wheels. I talked to him afterwards, and he pulled away. And there's such a relief for me. And lucky for me, everything suited the conditions. I stayed the white line, and he came back in. And even after that, we've hit the conditions 3 or 4 times, and you're praying for some relief. We hit a couple of tunnels that took that relief away. But the fear, the anxiety, the energy, the shouting that went on, it was all sorts of emotions going on. Mm-hmm. But through that, the one thought for me, and this is the memorying by, is not completing the task. Yes, we got to Nordkapp. It was 2 or 3 moments in that I thought of the battle I was doing and the battle of my friends were doing. And that was the closest thing I felt that I could ever get to. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
You could.
Very touching.
Nice.
Yeah, and maybe it will take a while to absorb and integrate all these experiences. I could imagine.
No, I'm actually happy with the experiences. I have a particular friend. I won't mention his name at the moment, but he's fighting his own battle. Okay. I mentioned earlier. I send him video of our journey every day, actually every morning. And for the last 3 mornings, I haven't heard from him. And today I managed to put a call into him. And he came back, he answered the phone. He said, Jim, I'm having a bad day. I'm having a bad couple of days. And, you know, I don't have the energy to talk to you, but please keep sending the videos. I'm enjoying the videos. Wow. And I said, you know, I'm only on this journey because of you, because you said to go. Yeah. And it's really interesting. I think he is part of my journey.
Wow. So beautiful what you're saying. Someone is so with you in heart and mind without physically.
Yeah, there's a number of people within that have probably passed in the last 2 or 3 years, and who are in their own battles. But just to bring it to a head, I think of this person. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
And all these experiences with friends that you're mentioning, have they somehow inspired you to go on this journey?
Well, I remember when the opportunity came, Declan offered, I spoke to this person, and I don't think he understood, nor did I, what it meant. And it was easier for him. But he said, Jim, go on it, you know, don't let the opportunity pass. Yeah. And it kind of stuck in my mind. I remember I was buying a bike years ago, and I went to the same person. And he said, Jim, you have a big ass. You know, this BMW 1150 04 range, you know, it has a big saddle. It'll suit you perfectly. And he was right, you know.
That's the one that was with you. I know that sometimes these bikes get personified.
That was with me.
Does it have a name?
What
Your
the bike?
Yeah.
Oh, so the bike I have at the moment is called Tiny.
It's called Tiny.
Yes, but it's a monstrous machine. It's huge. It's 3 times bigger than Declan's.
And it's not the one that your friend recommended.
Oh, for this journey? No, he didn't know what bike yet. It's a sister bike.
Mm-hmm. A sister bike.
Yes.
Okay, it's a whole family here.
Yes. It's a particular range of bikes, and they have a. It's like I compared the bike to Sure. It's got a lot of modifications. It's 30 years old. You know, it has a few quirky things, but it still performs. You know, just like Sure.
Yeah, it's beautiful. These relationships. And do you think, if you look back at who you were 12 weeks ago and now, do you think some shifts happened in you, with you? Are you still the same person?
I definitely am the same person. You know, personalities can change, and they can shift. We call it a hysteresis window. So they'll shift slightly left or right. And I felt I shifted my little window a little bit left.
Left?
Yeah, because I believe what I experience, it's only a fraction of what my friends are experiencing. It's nowhere near it, but it allows me to have empathy and sympathy and strength to talk to them. It allows me to engage with them on a one-to-one level. Although I don't have the same thing, I don't know what it means, I don't experience it. This is allowing me to come as close as I can. And for them to have seen what I've gone through, to be at one with them when I talk to them.
Very powerful. I know you're also a leader in your professional life. You run your own company with over 100 people, I think.
They wouldn't call me a leader.
Why are you saying that?
Oh, because they'd only do that just to wreck my head.
You said the other day they don't miss you, right?
No.
Well, they do somehow, but seriously, as you mentioned, empathy and so I think these are important skills if you run a business, right?
Yes, I have the best management. The best management you could have in any company, and like me, they have their own ills and complaints and pressures, whether it be family or money or imagery or whatever it is. Most of the people we work with, my management team, and most of our colleagues that we work into, they all have just these problems. And it's very hard to share one's life experience with someone you don't know. And the longer I'm in my industry, the longer I'm understanding the people around me, because I'm in it with them also.
Is that, you think, specific because it's people from the same industry? So it's a telecommunications industry, right?
Yes.
So you think that's like a specific species?
No, it's no more different than anything else. However, we share the same experiences, such as, we'll say, we have natural disasters such as the storm in Ireland there. It happened about 3 weeks ago. All networks suffer that. All other companies like ourselves who provide that service would have been involved in helping to maintain the networks and their integrity to support other services around them. And at some point, it becomes unselfish. I've seen it a number of times that you might have one generator in one site, but they'll connect up 3 operators to get the power going, to get the communication going for the community. It's really heartening to see that. And with that, then, once that is done, a trust is built up, because we're natural competitors. And there's a respect comes from that. And in time then comes a trust. And, there's a value in it. It goes beyond commercial.
Mm-hmm.
There's a value in it personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I find it quite impressive that you could stay away you've been away for now almost 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yes.
How did that feel for you? Is that something you tend to do? You go away, I don't know, on vacation,
No,
on a break?
not at all.
Is that the first time?
Yes, that's the first. I would normally be very much cemented within the family core, within my community, within the business, within our accounts and so on. Yeah, and there's a part of me that, it was a big step for me to say I'm away.
Yeah,
it's the first.
Yeah,
but it was the first. I was so engrossed in managing myself and the project I was doing that it took priority, and that's the first.
And how does that feel today?
Well, I'm glad we can. I suppose I completed it. I was able to share that through little video clips with people who are important to me, and yeah, I think there's an achievement there. I don't find it personal achievement. Yes, there are elements of it that I possibly wouldn't have done. Like camping is a big issue, and anybody that knows me knows I'm not a real camping person, but I did that. Yeah, but there is achievement in putting a project together that's difficult. And you talk to them about it beforehand. And it's only when you start showing them videos of what you're doing that they understand the difficulty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even though, so you would probably otherwise, if you're not away, have difficult projects in your work. Now you had another difficult project.
Yes, I think they were quite practical. Like, and most work, you involve yourself in change management and so on. It's very hard to capture the difficulties in change management or within a company because change comes from all angles, no more than work. It's a very intangible thing.
Yeah.
And yet my journey on this was very tangible. It was all about fighting, digging the motorbike that got stuck in snow. Will it start with a jump starter? Meeting a guy called Nico, and he wants to have beer, and you want to go to sleep. They were really I'd say Nico was a great help to us. I'll be honest with you. He was my first Finnish person
to interact.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That was natural that I hadn't organized. And he was freely open to expressing himself, which was quite good.
Very nice. And I know, apart from what you said now with, let's say, motorbiking family community, you also run another thing, which is a farm, right?
Oh, well, I'm a romantic farmer. Yes. It's different from a hobby farmer.
Okay, in what sense?
Oh, I'm such a romantic, being Valentine's night.
Yes, please tell us if you can.
Well, it's I have a few little animals, and they all have names.
Are they really? How little are they?
Well, there's small, medium, and large.
Okay.
And we have a tractor. We have two little tractors. There's big tractor and small tractor.
Okay.
And there is there's dogs, and there's Maxie and Ted.
Okay.
So
and the other animals are.
Oh, so we had a horse one time. And donkeys. I find them quite challenging to manage. They were quite vocal. So we kind of as in our way we kind of managed them out on the farm. So it's normally about cattle now. So it's about it's about I had a little calves that I was breeding myself, and then I started buying in a couple of cattle as calves, and we're breeding them and bringing them up. There's a whole. It was done because I was brought up on a farm myself, and my wife, Breda, and when we started to have kids, ourselves, we felt that it was important for them to have the same experience. We had a good experience, both of us.
Yeah.
It was from a farming background. It was natural. So we went through the process of buying a couple of acres, having a couple of animals, going through the process of getting them pregnant and calving them and bringing up their calves and so on. Yeah. So we had a couple of chickens and hens, and we had Coco and Chanel. Chickens, unfortunately, were taken by the fox.
Oh, I see.
And then we had bought 3 other hens, but it turns out one of them was an evil hen that pushed the other 2 out into the fox, and the evil hen stayed there for ages.
So you couldn't manage that one out?
No. I had instinctive survival conditions. They knew how to live, but eventually the fox got it. Yeah. So
there's so many things you're doing. It seems like your day must have more hours than maybe. How do you manage that? And your energy?
So yeah, my energy, I probably had a lot of energy years ago. Yeah, my energy is, I suppose I'm starting to reflect on what I want to do with my energy. This journey I wanted to do. It was important to me because of the people I spoke to and what it was for them and what it meant for me. I am very fortunate to be surrounded by good friends, my Capeless and the Morrisseys, and there's a whole lot of them around us that are looking after my romantic farm. Michael is probably driving his pink tractor around my farm. I wouldn't be saying that just to wreck his head. He doesn't have a pink tractor.
Yeah, let's hope he's listening. He will listen to.
Of course he will. Yeah, he's famous now. So I'm blessed with we have a really good community. My own family, local family, are very good. And yeah, I suppose then I comes down to my own internal family. My wife Rita, who is a backbone, and my 3 kids, Hannah, Gracie, and James. So they're and
they're all famous now.
Yes, yes. So and they're going through the process of learning and growing up and so on.
Yeah, and I think that's what we hear a lot, right? That if we want to do things, it's usually much better and easier if we do it with others than on our own. So you seem to be living that very nice.
Oh, don't worry, I can delegate work. Don't worry.
You can do what?
Delegate
work. We're in Svalbard now.
Yes.
So from back to the trip, Nordkapp, we met in Tromsø for the first time. Yes. And then we went over to Svalbard together. And
first time.
Yeah, first time in Svalbard, also for me. How have you liked it here in Svalbard?
I would have to start with the plane journey. We traveled with SAS. I have never really traveled with SAS before. It was the first for me. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed the flight. It was the people on board treated me really well. We arrived at the airport.
And there was a magic outside while we were flying. I mean, the scenery of the skies were just on fire. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful. Yeah. And so that was the first. We had a really comfortable landing, which was the first. And then we came out and we met Julian, who was the taxi driver. And he was super friendly. I'm going to get on with this guy, and we loaded the bags up, and we had hopped into the front of the van and we drove into town. And Julian was telling us about, if there was a doomsday. Did you notice if there was a doomsday in the island?
No.
Or in the world, all the seeds, the natural seeds of the world, are held in the vault here on the island. Did you know that?
No, I haven't.
Yes. Yes. So this is where all the seeds, the local seeds of different locations are held in a vault here.
The local seeds?
So in Ireland we might have apple trees, local apple trees.
Yeah.
They're held in a vault here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So because it's cold. I mean, is that why it's...
Yes.
So really
it's
like the
mind.
seeds of the
Throughout
plant.
the world.
Wow.
All the seeds
Wow.
of plants and trees are held here in the vault.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
mind blowing.
Yeah,
He
it is.
continued on then to talk about the different aspects of mining and whaling beforehand. And by the time we only had a 10-minute journey, I knew more about the island than I could imagine.
Obviously.
Yes.
Or we know different things.
Yes,
yeah. But it's interesting, right? It's such a like so many nationalities live here.
53, he told me.
Yeah.
53 nationalities live in this island.
And how do you find the cold?
I'm very tolerant of cold, as you've really witnessed.
Yesterday you went out without a jacket. Or
yes, I'd have a t-shirt and a pullover. Yeah. Everybody else was wrapped up.
So as Nico said, you're, what was the word?
Mental.
Mad. but yeah, maybe any closing words, anything you would like to leave as a message before we close?
Look, I suppose this is for me a journey of learning and experience, and for those who are coming on behind us, it's a strange world we live in, but please have an open mind. I would say have an open mind, and you'll experience the first.
Thank you so much for being with us here today, Jim. Thanks, everyone. If you liked today's episode, it would mean the world to us if you like it. Share it with anyone who could need a boost in inspiration and courage. And we would also love to hear from you. What are your reflections after this conversation? Share them with us, and let's keep creating powerful first times together. We'll see you next first time. Until then, much love and courage. Ciao.
Sláinte.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. I'm here now. It is, I think it is Friday morning, and we're in Olderfjord. I'm about to head north to try and see can we get to Nordkapp tonight, or at least there's a staging area before that. The big dilemma, as we talked about yesterday, was the wind. And Declan had I suppose a near-death experience last year with it, and so he's quite cautious, and rightly so. So outside, funny enough, the temperatures jumped. It's jumped, I think, to zero, which is strange, from a minus in the double figures to a zero. It's just unusual to see it. Everything else is going good. I'm starting a little cough running in my chest. I must just talk to someone at home to see what I can do to circumvent anything coming into it. It's probably my body telling me what the fuck you at. So we'll figure that one out. It's like an ice skate rink outside, with some water lying on top of the ice. We're about to walk down to the nearest shop, which is about 400 yards away, to get something to eat. Apparently they have famous waffles. The fact that they have waffles at all is famous enough, because last night when we rode in, I suggested to Declan that we might go for a drink. And I looked for the nearest restaurant stroke drinking establishment 36 miles away. Now, that was, from my perspective, the opportunity to panic. You wanted to drive 36 miles to find a bar. That was mad. And so waiting for Declan to come on now. We'll head to the shop, get something, and we'll reassess where we are and what we should do, and we'll go forward from there. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to stop the glasses fogging up. The helmet is doing its job, and the bike is going really good since I found the intermittent fault yesterday. We got up with a bad sleep last night, both Declan and myself. Unusual. Declan reckoned he heard of what you call those fucking deers going through. I didn't, but there was squirrels where I was, and kind of woke up at 4, and then kind of 5, and then 6, and the sleeping bag then decided to zip open in half, and I nearly fucking froze to death. And so I put that together at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then around 7 o'clock I went to get my bike. It started first time. Declan's didn't. Mine started the first time, and we had to get Declan's going with the jump starter. However, mine, the fucking heap shite it is, just has a habit of, if it sees snow, it wants to bog down. It just wants to go. It'll go down like the Kursk. I don't know what it is. It's just the weight on it, the bike itself, and the weight of stuff. Fantastic road on the roads and the ice and stuff, but snow. Poof. So of course it went down twice, and we gave it the best part of a half an hour trying to dig it out. We got it out eventually, but not after a lot of swearing and cursing and wondering was it worth it all. I'll be honest, I went through it in my head a few times. So I've decided to tell Declan, well, he knows now, there's no to tell. I told him if there's any a hint of snow that's less than more than 30 centimeters, I'm not going in there. Like, you know, it's a full stop. It's just too much. Now, so that was the drama this morning, and we'll see. We have a bit of a drive now ahead of us where we're going. There's definitely a change. We're in the Arctic Circle now. Yeah, definitely a change. So I'll catch up with you later on. Bye. Then I spoke to a few people about raising money. I spoke to our own team and work, see could we raise money, because we sponsor a lot of societies each year. It mightn't be the biggest amount, but they all get a bit from us, and we divide it out. A big one from Martin. Regrettably, his mother died of cancer, and it was quite painful for Martin and the family. And so we would sponsor the likes of the Donegal Cancer Lift Society or Flight Society. Is where the people who are getting treated for cancer in Donegal, they would get subsidised flights down to Dublin. This is a centre of excellence in cancer treatment down there, and so that's it. And when you're in a rural area like we would be in Norway, and you're trying to live your best life, and where you come from, and yet you're trying to keep yourself safe, you know, you need all the help you can get. So it's a very fundamental service, and it helps an awful lot. So, and we're delighted to be part of that.